Hello YouTube, Reddit Math here, and welcome back to the Red Estate. So today we're going to be taking out, you know what, actually before we even bother with that, let's check the Nomad Wagon really quick here. I have over 100 crests, which is enough to get more. Let's go ahead and just reduce trinket costs.
Amulet, or lucky charm. The simplest object can be a talisman against evil.
Yeah. Apparently they sell cereal in the Nomad Wagon. Lucky Charms. There's a joke there somewhere. But we're going to be taking out our main crew for the Cove again. So a little something like that. We've got the Sunken crew to deal with, and a little bit of exciting Darkest Dungeon news for today, or maybe for yesterday, depending on when you're watching this. The Dark Tambourine isn't really the greatest trinket reward, but I want to go ahead and do this now. And so we're going to ignore that bit, and we'll just pop into our provisioning screen. So, standard fare. Should be a relatively short dungeon, but I want to make sure that health is not a concern at all. So we'll do something like that. And then like 4 of these guys, say 2 of those, 1. That should be fine. Maybe a little bit more than we truly need to bring. But, you know, Boy Scouts, always be prepared. Something like that. And we'll find out a little bit more about our Sunken crew.
I employed a crew of particularly unsavory mariners, who for a time sailed the 4 corners at my behest, retrieving many valuable artifacts, relics, and rare texts. Predictably, they increased their tariffs to counter my intense stipulations of secrecy. Such resources had long been exhausted, of course, and so I prepared an alternative payment.
Interesting. I can't imagine that alternative payment was anything that they were wanting.
The poor devils, chained and drowning for eternity.
Not the easiest run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're gonna get to skip like 1, 2, 3, 4 of the rooms. That does pose a potential threat, but if we go this way, that doesn't make any sense. Let's stay to the top. If we get a scout, that then gives us maybe an option for either heading straight or going left at the fork up ahead. And right off the bat, this is pretty swell for us. Let's take a look at some... Oh, man. So many terrible things. Let's get you a little cleaned up, Bellicoat. Medicinal herb. Tapeworm. Okay. That was probably a disease. Man, he's got... Bellicoat, you gotta spend some time in the sanitarium soon, my friend. These dungeons are starting to wear on you. Alright, and... nothing? Okay. Not only was our last trek against the Siren relatively short, but we managed to avoid really a lot of fights that we could have potentially gotten into along the way.
Fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
So hopefully, this is going to be something similar. Alright, a little bit of bleed, and I'd say I'm probably more concerned about the big guy than his little plated maggot friend. And so the other exciting news I do want to eventually get to here is that the release date for Darkest Dungeon has been announced, and a little bit bittersweet, truth be told. Red Hook Studios has had some rough times with deaths in the family this year, and another one has struck them. Well, that's no good. Oh man, you just can't help but get more and more debilitating things. So, with that kind of in mind, they have pushed back from an end-of-the-year sort of release date to a January 19th release date.
Destroy them all.
Oh, don't worry. We intend to destroy them all. That is kind of interesting for me as well. I, quite honestly, did not intend to be playing this game for that long on the channel, but I worry just a little bit
size has no intrinsic merit, unless inordinate exsanguination be considered a virtue.
Oh, that is so unnecessarily wordy.
A blazing star is born.
All right. So we've got like 8 boss fights left. And that means, let's say we do a boss fight every other episode. That'll get us 16 more episodes. So that'll get us through like the end of the month. We'll be into November by then.
Masterfully executed.
It was a beautiful crit. I'm loving it. And then, what do we do at that point? I would kind of like to get all the ticks in all of the boxes, which might mean wanting, you know, a character from every character class to have reached level 6. I think we could probably do that in conjunction with beating all the bosses without too much trouble. But then, I don't really know. I don't know, you know, what keeps us going through November, what keeps us going into January.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Alright. Ugh, that could have been better. Okay, let's think about this. 5 to 10. On a 9, taking 6 per turn. Honestly, I could tracking shot and kill him.
The bigger
but
the beast,
there's no kill like
the greater
overkill.
the glory.
Okay. And we'll go ahead and pop out a party heal here as we took a blast across the bow. And then one of these. And then one of these. Awesome. Throw out another party heal for this turn, and we will be A-okay. I've thought about going hunting for all of the... Oh, that was a rough dodge. Hunting for all of the ancestral trinkets might be something worthwhile to do, which largely means that I would be hunting shamblers. That is going to be the way to go about getting them. Alright, so like that might be a thing that happens, that we go through...
Maintain the offensive.
I do not need you, my friends. That we go through maybe a period of dark runs in an attempt to grab as many ancestral trinkets as we can without skeleton key? Why not? Without hopefully getting anybody killed. Not the greatest haul. But I'm not really sure. Like, I don't want it to just become super repetitive or watered down or anything like that. A little bit of food that we didn't really need. I, of course, love any input that any of the viewers might have, if you want to leave those in the comments below. But I don't know. We might put Darkest Dungeon on hiatus. That's not going to be happening now. Keep in mind, these are all thoughts of like what to do a month from now. And the reason I have to have those thoughts is because, you know, it takes a little bit of preparation to get something to replace the game with, to have other content ready. So we might, you know, stick things on hiatus for a little while we cook another game off for 2 months. Who knows? I haven't really decided yet. I'm still having a lot of fun with Darkest Dungeon. I look forward to starting a second run, whether that be for the channel or my own personal amusements. You know what? Let's just sort you right out.
The enemy crumbles.
Mostly because of just how much I feel like I've learned about the game, right? Like, to be as far along as we are, and lovely. There's a lot of things where I feel like I've misplayed them for the long haul, that I would do things differently given a second chance. And that's definitely something I'm interested in doing, but I don't know if it's something I'm interested in doing on this save necessarily. What I would kind of like to do is, have this playthrough and these characters be the ones that are just sort of ready and willing and all sorts of leveled up and maxed out for when the Darkest Dungeon itself finally drops. It's always kind of been the plan, is just to have that prepped by the time it came out. And my original assumption was that was going to be sometime this month. And then as that became a little bit more obvious that it was going to be sometime by the end of the year, then, that was fine. I started sort of slowing down the speed at which I was doing some things in the game as to not get through the content too quickly.
Reeling, about to break.
He's gotten double bled there. Definitely going to want a bandage. Yeah. And you shall pay for those bleeds. Man. Again, no kill like overkill. Alright. Let's see. You're 9. If I stun you, you die. You've got some stun resist right now. So maybe we just do this. Okay. And do we get to attack before him? We do. So he should easily bleed out. And then we've just got one of our little pelagic friends left. Alright. Toss out a little bit of healing. 7's okay. Still got a ways to go, though.
Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
See if we can just get off a stun. He resisted it. I'd rather not take any chances. The chance to heal him, not worth the chance to take damage, really.
Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
Yeah, I'm well aware. Another heirloom chest. We can anti-venom. We can't anti-venom? I thought... I didn't look at the thing first. Let me look at the thing now. Heirloom chest. Key or anti-venom equals loot. Weird. I guess I'm gonna have to go back to the drawing board with that. I swore that an anti-venom would ensure that you didn't get poisoned. That's the whole reason that made sense, is it if you use nothing on it, it has a chance to blight you. So you could anti-venom to disarm the trap. Everything I know is a lie. Everything I know is a lie. Okay. Well, not quite sure what was up with that. If that's been patched, etc. I'll take a look at it, though. We'll figure that one out. Nice. Off to a good start. Ugh. That's a little bit testy. We can fail to inflict any bleed at all. Okay. You know what? Hit him up, and then I should be able to start just throwing out judgments for the self-heal. He's down by 2. One is that missed, but it didn't. Unfortunate. Okay. Good dodges. One of those, and he's dead. He is not quite dead. Alright, I'll tell you what. We'll do another heal on him. Now he's okay. Then the tracking shot the back rank. And... Shadow Fade there. I'll be able to lunge next turn. And the lunge will be able to deal with this guy. Yeah, that'll sort itself out. Dirk Stab can't. Solo moves up. Why not? Awesome. Got the debuff on him for his accuracy. He'll bleed twice before he can move. He'll bleed there.
This is how a life is taken.
Totally fine. Worked out just as I had imagined. A little bit slower than I had imagined, maybe. We can get off one more heal. Why not? We'll burn a turn here. Toxin Trickery for a little bit more dodge. Yay.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Didn't quite get to the healing phase of that plan. Okay. Let's see. Get you back to theirs. Eat up a little food. It's only 50 gold.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
Okay, that actually works itself out pretty well. Coming back to Bellicote again for another eerie coral. Cleansing. Okay. I think it removed one of his locked-in ones. I hate that a lot of times it gets covered up by the character's speech bubble. That might be like a UI sort of change. I mean, I guess if you call it a user interface problem. Like a graphical overlay problem.
May we find victory.
Okay. Hopefully, maybe just a couple of quiet hallways. That's not a quiet hallway. That's a surprise. Alright. Well, fine then. You know what? I don't like you. You can make all of this way harder. Ooh. Alright. Well, fine. Take a little bit of stress, and then... Ooh. Lovely. Okay. That went fairly well. That didn't really go so great. Okay. I need the dodges to stick up. I think I'm gonna be alright here. We could try for another one, and he would back, and then he would go back, and he would be up front, and then he could shoot. But I really need him to be able to do point-blank shots repeatedly, so I'll keep her there. I had to think a few steps ahead there. Basically, whether or not I wanted our jester ending up in the front row.
Impressive.
Lovely. Or not. And I think it's best that they continue to do this little 1-2 shuffle around. Please resist. Did not resist. That's a decent enough damage. That way I can continuously go for this stun, followed by a point-blank shot. Sometimes, you know, your point-blank shots deal with the character up front. You want to get him moved back so he can start shooting, and then we need the jester up front. That's kind of the overall plan I have found myself falling into with these guys, and I think it works out pretty well. I could probably optimize it more if I was to give Crone here like a his own, what is that attack called? Duelist Advance. There we go. If I was to give him Duelist Advance back so that he would be able to move forward as well, he could self-correct sometimes. But, you know, I'm weird and have not done that, and that's totally fine. It's okay to be weird. Do we let her try for the stun? 129%.
The light.
Can't quite
the
do
promise
it.
Of safety.
Arterial pinch. I'd rather use it against her every time, considering her dodge chance is going to be astronomical. 118 right now until her next action. Ugh. That's crazy. So then, get him up to max health. Do a little bit of damage. He's taking 3 per turn. I'm gonna go ahead and just do the heal. I didn't really need to do the damage either. So like either option makes an equal amount of sense, really. He's stunned, he's bleeding, everything is okay. And
prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
Beautiful. Some critical dice. Lovely. Don't mind if I do. And don't need those things. Alright. Sorted. What do we got? Okay. Another hallway. 2 more rooms. I think we're going to be okay. Things are going relatively well as far as the hallway fights. We picked up a tiny amount of stress on our characters, but nothing that worries me. Now, one thing that actually is a little bit troublesome. Ooh. Awesome. No fights all the way there. So one thing that is a little bit troublesome, we saw in...
Darkness closes in, haunting the hearts of men.
Alright. Just wanted to do that for like a maximum chance of any treasure off of that. It didn't matter even a little bit. And there we go. That was the last chance to have run into a shambler right as I entered that square. I don't think I could encounter him in the room. Maybe I could actually, though. That's probably a good point. Maybe I should have considered that.
And power.
Ooh. You are outmatched, indeed. Ugh. Hopefully this one fight in the dark doesn't end up turning the tables on us. Alright, so the reason that I'm worried about the upcoming fight is basically how the siren fight went. The first time we faced her, I feel like I just sort of ran laps around her. Like, nothing that she did mattered. And I think it's maybe that, you know, with a team based largely around dodging enemy attacks, you're always balancing on the cusp of that, right? Where if you can't quite keep up with it, you're just taking massive damage at all times. And I need to act first. I need a judgment to kill him so that he doesn't do anything horrible like start healing or buffing people. And I'm worried that, like, in the last time we fought the Sunken crew, we saw their, what I assume was sort of signature mechanic, where they, like, threw an anchor, and I was, like, suspended and drowning. I don't know, they never really got to get it off. Like, they... never mind. They never really got to show off that move, because I feel like I killed the guy who was doing it just immediately, and almost every other time that it ever happened, it was dodged. You know, like, or every other time, I guess. It only ever successfully happened once. Now, what if in this fight, they can hit me? You know, consistently, even.
A singular strike.
And I start taking damage from whatever that was all the time. Like, that's my fear, is that whatever edge we maybe had, what if we've lost it? Like, what happens then? I don't know. Maybe we die gruesome and terrible deaths. Yes. And... seriously? Like, stuff like that, right? She's got 91 dodge right now. That clipped her? Are you kidding me? Like, how does that hit somebody? Move back, shoot. Why not? We'll try for another stun. I hope to actually be able to deal with this guy. Not this turn. Oh man, he can't do anything from here that's not moving forward. But I think the point blank shot is worth it. I really do. I think it's worth that much that we just waste his turn. Because this could be 5. Yes! That's precisely what I was expecting. Alright. Let's try that again. Stun. And 7. I mean, that's better than 5, but he will bleed out before he gets to do anything else. So I guess it doesn't really matter. Okay.
Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
I can munch a little bit of food here, and then we'll take the gold over the 2 remaining food. I think that makes sense. And then this is a giant oyster, which needs a shovel to give me loot. And I do have shovels, so that's cool. So we'll go ahead and camp here.
Huddled together, furtive and vulnerable. Rats in a maze.
I figure I might as well. I don't really need the health or even the stress, but why not? We can turn back time on her. Down to 5. Awesome. That's really all I need to do. Now we can clean guns. Scouting pants. Meh. You don't have any diseases on you, do you? No? No, I didn't think so. One companion accuracy and stress resistance. And then accuracy and dodge. I like that. I think that's a pretty decent run. She could... nothing else really matters. Okay. Go ahead and rest. Hope that we do not get surprised, as I would love to be marching at full health directly into the boss fight. I think that would be for the best. So hungry. Why do we not turn back?
As the light
It's
gains
gonna be okay,
purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
Shovel for the... Ooh. That definitely got back the price of a shovel. Alright. Are we out of herbs? We are. I'm going to leave the fish carcass behind. Got a trap. Never fear. Omand is here. And then... Okay. There was a little bit of a chance that we would run into a hunger event. That could have been really bad. Nothing we need to pre-buff with, so let's get this party started.
Even in death, the captain shouts his orders, and the crew obeys.
Nice. I love how the captain shouts his orders, and then all hands on deck popped up right as it said that. Really coincidental timing, but just absolutely perfect in that instance. I think so. This drowned ropeman. Okay, so that's the guy who tries to drown us. He should be easy enough to kill, though, with like one of those.
Blow.
Yeah. All right. I think we were just keeping him, like the drowned ropeman was always being killed right away, probably by point blank shot in a single hit. Drink with the dead. No, thank you. Omand is a lady. She does not wish to drink with the dead. Oh man, can't hold balance, huh? Alright, well, fine. Let's try... What's the damage on him? I'm hoping my... I hope my jester gets to go first. That's what I'm gonna say. Oh, he didn't though. I wanted the jester to be able to finale and get out of there. Oh man, that's a problem. So now we are gonna see. Okay, that's a tiny stress attack. It was that thing, that horrible anchor. That's what I'm worried about. Ooh, boarding clutch. That was kind of painful. He resisted the move, at least. I bleed. Therefore I am. Yes, yes. Alright, you are debuffed in 6 ways to Sunday there, so... let's just get a little bit more damage on the boss, and I think this is going pretty well. I'm not quite sure that I found my rhythm yet. I'm gonna opt to kill him instead of healing. Bellicoat is usually our weak link. Ugh. Painful. A little more bleed. Oh, man. Everybody's focusing on Dudley. I don't like that. She's in the 4th position. Normally, everybody else is tanking for her. Oh, wow. That is a huge, huge buff. I wonder why they chose to do it like that. Why does he get a buff instead of just having the abilities? I'm not sure. Is there any way for me to take away a buff? They don't even last for like a period of turns. They just appear to be permanent. I don't know why they would have done it like that. I feel like there's something I'm missing with the way that mechanic is being applied. I'll go ahead and remove that as well. And then we'll apply a little bit of healing to Bellicoat. 13. Ugh. Ugh. Okay. Huge move resist. Oh, that's pretty bad. Okay. I am really glad that he resisted that. Let's try for a stun on you. Haven't done that in a while. Of course resisted. Of course dodged. Fair enough. You do your thing, I'll do my thing. You resist, I dodge, it's fine. Mutiny, huh? Oh, man. I wonder if that would have been another call you over to the other side kind of thing. It looks scary. He got like crazy red glowing eyes and everything. Just get out some damage. Let her heal back up a little bit as well. Hands on deck. Alright. I wonder if there's like a variable amount. I don't understand. I don't know why there would be any reason that you would be better off not giving the character those abilities, but instead building them into a buff that he came in to play with. It just seems really weird in a lot of ways. Also, man, I have not managed to bleed this guy like once yet. Ugh. Heave 2. And this is it. Immobilized. Took a little bit of stress. A boarding clutch. A little bit more stress. Is there a way... I mean, I assume, like, immobilized is just, like, a perma-stun? Do we just... Okay, and he's taking stress constantly. No, he still gets to act. Yeah, he can still totally do his thing. Okay. Maybe it just means he's constantly taking stress while he's immobilized. Well, welcome back. You weren't gone for very long. Now, where are you? Alright, I've got him about a third of the way down. I can probably accept the critique that this party is not extremely damage-centric. Right? Like, that's not really the shtick that these guys have. But it's fine. They play to their strengths, which is largely out-dodging and out-healing everything. Omand is totally proving. Grave Robber gets my vote. Best tank 2015. Which seems really laughable, right? Like, who in their right mind would want the Grave Robber for their party's tank? Can you imagine, though? Two of these guys up front, constantly stunning and self-dodge buffing. Nothing could hit them. Like a couple rounds into combat, they would end up with over 100 dodge. And then, what? Like, what is the enemy going to do at that point? Granted, the enemy can target other things in the party, but like, you could do some backline Arbalest action to do some really solid damage. Maybe like Arbalest Houndmaster. You have very little healing. Anything that could attack the back ranks would be fairly dangerous, but I'd be okay with it. I think that would be a neat concept at the very least. I'd pay $1 to see it. Alright. I think it's odd that
a decisive pummeling.
Nice. I think it's odd that this boss has stress attacks, because it's not, like, invested in that strategy very much. It seems fairly half-hearted that it tosses out any stress at all. But maybe I'm just coming off of, like, the Necromancer boss, where his stress attacks had managed to lay low a couple of parties of mine. So if you're gonna have a stress boss, you know, why go halfway? Oh my god, you're playing with my heart here, guys. I could attack, I could do this. I don't want him to end up immobilized at the front. Maybe that's what it's supposed to do. Maybe like all hands on deck. What if, okay, strategize here. What if all hands on deck gave finale back out of this. All hands on deck gave Dudley move to the front, and then immobilize holds her there? Like, maybe that's the goal? I guess that could be kind of deadly. Just preventing your characters that want to be in the front line. Yeah, like, what if you had, you know, if you brought a leper to this fight, for example, and so you really need characters occupying the first or second rank. What did Mutiny do? It was just a debuff, but I resisted it. Okay. I haven't been able to dodge buff in a while, so... Oh, wow. She has gotten a little bit weaker than she would normally be. That is going to be a waste of a point-blank shot. It's okay, though. I can live. That was a huge waste. Imagine if we could have gotten 24 on him. He doesn't even have protection. That probably would have been like 50 damage on him. Stupid drowned ropeman and his drowniness. Alright. It's fine. It's totally fine. We could stay here all day. Maybe we will. We're in round 12. Like I said, direct damage might not be the best thing that our party does. But they are totally able to stay alive. I think that is what they do. They're like a band of sort of slippery criminals and, I don't know, a holy woman trying to redeem them? Is that how we end up here? I could just see the party marching along with a Vestal behind them, reading from the scriptures, trying to convince them of their evil ways. Has the stun resist that has gotten quite large. Let's try this instead. Man, getting some pretty poor stun resist here. Drink with the dead. Dodged. Eve 2. Oh, it connected. I should probably figure out what immobilized actually does to him. I guess it's just a constant stress. Like, oh wait, is that it? When he's got the, is that why it's a buff? Have I figured it out? Am I that slow on the uptake? Slash, it's that convoluted. Hey, finally! Finally, a bleed! Alright, well, the Sunken crew is definitely getting into their death throes here. Is it that when he heave twos, the buffs all go away? I think that's what it might be, and I've just so infrequently seen a heave two that I have yet to really notice. So let's check this out. Alright, it hits him. Yeah, okay. The Fathom's calling me down. Alright, so once he does that, he loses all his protections. Which then means that he's a little bit easier to kill. But I think the stress builds... Oh, and he heals from it. Oh my. So many things are happening there. Okay. So the Sunken crew gains health. He gains stress. And it's not even like once per turn, it's like once per action. Interesting. I'd also signed his death warrant, unless I guess he could all hands on deck again. But there's no way he makes it out of this turn. Boarding clutch. Managed to connect. That was a little painful. But we are going to go out on a high note here.
Finally, a sailor's death for captain and crew. Fitting.
Awesome. Anything else to add? One more word? Nothing? Okay. I actually really wanted bloody dice. I've been wanting those for a while for our jester here. I'd rather have those on him than the lucky dice that he has. Accuracy and dodge is fine, but I would have kind of preferred him to have the upgraded bleed chance through, I think, most of that fight. And with that, I think we're going to go ahead and call it quits for this. I just don't feel like wandering that far back through this dungeon. I think I'm going to go ahead and return to Hamlet instead. And we find ourselves with a Dark Tambourine. It does get Death Blow resist at the expense of Virtue, and Stress resist in low light. Well, if we do end up on some Shambler hunts looking for ancestral trinkets, then that will come in quite handy. I still do want to hear your guys' feedback on what direction, if you have any input at all, you think might be good. Move resistance is fine. Loses armor tinker. Wounds tactician loses balance. That's kind of not good. Soft is a problem. Meditate's not such a huge deal. And
our family name, once so well regarded, is now barely whispered aloud by decent folk.
Right, so like I said, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more bosses to go now, and 1, 2, 3, 4 more classes to raise up. So we're taking care of Jester, Highwayman, and Grave Robber right now. Arbalist, the long forgotten class. I've had the hardest time trying to figure out where to use the Arbalist in a party that I really like. I've been trying to figure it out lately. It's gone okay. Let's be honest with ourselves. It's gone okay. But that's going to be one that I'm going to need to consider. We need to get probably Mansell here out on just about everything that is not these guys laying waste to a boss at this point. Crone picked up a little bit of stress. We might want to have him see a doctor about that. Or maybe a Lady of the Night. I don't know. Maybe a little bit of alcohol, I think, actually could just sort him right out. Well, I'll take care of that before the next episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to subscribe for more videos on the channel every single day. Leave a like or a comment if you have anything to say about this or any of my other episodes, and I will catch you guys next time.